Hi, I'm Chris Parrish with Hale Game Calls. As a competitive caller, a guy that's been in the turkey woods for 33 years, we get a lot of questions asked, and we see a lot of things. And we teach people how to use calls, different calls, whether it be mouth calls or friction calls. We talk about how to take care of those calls and the easiest way to use those calls, but we don't necessarily always talk about what do we do in certain situations. And as a turkey hunter, you're faced with a multiple situations every year, especially if you hunt multiple states. One of the most frequently asked questions is, how do I call to a turkey on the roost? And how do I set up on this turkey? Well, first of all, if I know exactly where he's roosting and I can get in under the cover of darkness, I'm gonna set up really, really close to this turkey. Let's say, for example, we've got a turkey 100 yards or less on the roost, and we can almost see him, or we can see him. I would prefer to be able to see him, to tell you the truth, because this allows me to read body language. And body language meaning, which way is he facing on the limb? Obviously, does he have hens around him? Is he gobbling frequently? I get to know all these things. But let's say he's on the limb, he's roosted with hens, he's 100 yards or less, and he's gobbling frequently. But we feel like we're set up in a position where he's probably going to come our direction to start with. And if I'm able to roost him the night before, I'm kind of going to know where he came from and kind of going to know he's going to go close to that same direction going back out. That's a little something to keep in your hair-covered computer. I'm not going to do a lot of calling to this turkey on the roost because, one, it'll keep him up there and keep him gobbling. Two, he'll be looking and trying to find that hen that's on the ground. There's going to be hens around doing some calling. I just want to let him know that I'm there. And I'll start off doing something really, really soft, like a tree call or a little soft clucks, just to let him know I'm there. And then I'll watch his body language. Do a little tree call. I'm just doing something to let all the turkeys know I'm there. But the last thing I want to do with hens to this point is to be real vocal or to be demanding with them, because they're just waking up. They're not in that mode yet. So let them kind of get going, let him keep going, and just let him know where he's at, where you're at. Once that turkey flies down, if he flies in my direction, obviously I'm going to be in the wheelhouse. But as he moves on that limb and he's looking at flying down, I'm going to watch his demeanor and his body language. Oftentimes, if he's turning like he's facing away, I'll call a little bit louder to him. For example, like I've already flown down, and I'll try to dictate where he flies down at, that I'm the first hen on the ground. A lot of times he'll turn on the limb and pitch right down to you, and there you go. You're getting ready to go home with a turkey immediately. A lot of times the hens will fly down, he flies down, and they start doing their thing. At this point, not only am I calling to him and taking his temperature, but now I'm also calling to those hens. And so I'm going to pick up the tempo to see if one of those hens will pick up the tempo, much like I just did. I'll cut just a little bit and yelp. If I get a hen to do the same thing back to me, I'm going to start a conversation with her, and I'm going to try to overpower her and make her angry and make her come to me and hopefully bring the whole flock. That's just one little scenario there. They all play out a little bit different, but remember these little scenarios that we talk about and how to work these turkeys, because I'll promise you, you will be more successful and you'll be taking back a whole lot more long-bearded gobblers.